You know, the guy on the street said to me, Mike, I don't understand, because what about the Shannon Gilbert case, right? And I say common sense. Shannon Gilbert, let's talk about that for a moment. The Suffolk County Police Department has eliminated that as a homicide. So look at, because you're talking about consistency, and I agree with that. So Shannon Gilbert is a prostitute. Shannon Gilbert was a young lady who went to the same location, and it's obvious that she was in danger, that she was going to face death. And she luckily was able to make a phone call, and that's recorded, and you folks have listened to that.
On Murder Inc., they talk about the 911 call and hearing at the beginning of the 911 call a woman saying, "You better hide too." And I think one thing adding fuel to the fire was that the first part of this 911 call was originally cut out. Tell me what you hear.
Can I assist you? Hello? Hello? Hello, you dialed into the 911 system. How can I assist you? Hello?
Yeah.
Do you need the police?
Yeah.
Where? Where? Who's there with you? Hello? What's going on? What?
Somebody after you.
Somebody is harassing you?
After me.
Who?
Hey, Tracy, are you?
Driver's house there. Driver's right there.
Let me talk to him.
Hey, Tracy, I am.
Let me talk to him.
By the Jones Beach.
You're at Jones Beach?
By the Jones Beach.
All right, let me connect you to state police. Stay on the line.
Mike, stop it. You guys are planning something. Mike,
Where are you?
Mike.
We're fine, then why don't we go?
Are you in the house?
Yeah. Mike, stop it.
What town are you in?
Long Island, Mike, it's...
Where?
Stop, Mike.
Where in Long Island?
Stop it, Mike. Mike, stop it. Hey, stop it.
Where in Long Island are you?
I'm in the way.
Hello?
Here, Tony.
Where in Long Island are you?
I don't know. They're gonna kill me. They're gonna kill me.
One of the guys that was
Where are you?
Is there any doubt in your mind that Shannon Gilbert was the victim of a homicide?
Where are you, Shannon? Shannon. Shannon. Shannon.
So what, because it didn't fit into the narrative, Shannon Gilbert was now labeled an accident. She fell, she drowned into a puddle of water. Does that make any sense? So because my client's not involved in Shannon Gilbert, Therefore, that's an accident, but everything else is a murder. So these are things that are troubling to us. And again, we're going to explore this at trial.
Where 4 sets of remains, remember, they were found last fall in these burlap bags. Then another body was found
Off-duty cop walking his dog stumbles on a woman's dead body in a remote beach. That beach turned burial ground with 3 more sets of female remains found. Bombshell tonight. Last hours, investigators unearthed 4, possibly 5 more bodies on that same
developments in the hunt for a possible serial killer on New York's Long Island. Since December, as many as 8 bodies have been found on a desolate stretch of beach there. Now, investigators are examining some clues that point to a suspect who may be familiar with law enforcement.
He knows what he's doing and understands what crime scene investigation is all about.
It's been almost exactly a year now since Shannon Gilbert vanished in the reeds of Oak Beach, Long Island. Since then, police have spoken to people in Oak Beach and Gilgo Beach, anyone they think might know anything about this case.
There was a man who lived in that community who became an armchair investigator's suspect. Like, this is a person who had history working in like the medical field and vaguely in law enforcement, and there were profile workups that the suspect would be somebody in those fields because they'd understand how to dispose of a body and all that. And I remember interviewing him.
Tonight, for the first time, one of those men talked to me.
He said, "No, it wasn't me. I don't know what you're talking about."
But so you didn't tell them that you had her in your house, that you were...
Of course not. That's ridiculous.
That man is Peter Hackett, a former head of Suffolk County Emergency Medical Services and a former police surgeon who lives near where Gilbert was last seen. Hackett says he never even met Shannon Gilbert, but while he says police have interviewed him about the case 2 or 3 times, he would not say what about. And as for the grisly discoveries miles from his home,
I can't imagine who would do such a horrible, mean thing. It's just, it's beyond the, the level of, my belief, or I can't even imagine it happening.
And I saved his business card and his phone number because just in the off chance that it was him.
So wearing her daughter's sneakers, joined by other family members, Mary came to visit one of the last places anyone saw Shannon alive. Last year, the 24-year-old prostitute visited this house to meet with a client,
sincerely doubts that her heartache is shared by the same man she accuses.
That someone was trying
Despite
to kill her.
appearances,
That the client, Joseph Brewer, is not a suspect.
Brewer has not been named a suspect and is said to be cooperating in the investigation. This is what he told us today.
Do you know? Prayers go out to the families. I hope they get vindicated.
Do you know what happened to Shannon Gilbert, Mr. Brewer?
Between Brewer's house and the gate, she disappeared.
It seemed ridiculous at the time that they'd found 10 victims and still had not found Shannon Gilbert. And you really felt for her family.
Somebody had to have heard, or seen something that night, and for nobody to say anything after a year is just kind of ridiculous to me.
He called me on the phone. He told me he went outside the house and Shannon was there. She went to get off the street, so he was trying to help her.
Mary Gilbert is somebody who I actually came to know quite well. I still have her in my phone. Every now and then I run into her, I pass her name looking for somebody else, and I'll never take it out of my phone because she's a part of my own career story.
She was there.
Mary was very active in seeking out attention for her daughter and for this investigation. I remember the anniversary of her disappearance.
It was a trip no parent should have to take, a visit to the last place your child was believed to have been seen alive.
She came back with a lot of family members, and so family members of some of the other women also, who they became kind of this, mothers of these victims became kind of a sisterhood.
At one point, the arrival of Gilbert's mother, Mary, prompted an emotional group embrace, all bonded by their shared loss.
Every time I think of my sister, I will think of Shannon Gilbert, regardless. And every time I lay flowers out for my sister, I'll be laying them out for Shannon.
It's, heart-wrenching to us because we are the families of the Gilgo Beach victims. We are also bonded with Shannon's family. So it's like Shannon's like our sister. And we've been every step of the way with this family since a year. And we're going to continue to do it.
New developments today in that string of killings on Long Island that have stumped investigators for nearly a year.
We've got new information the police hope will help them identify the victims.
For the police, they were pretty clear that they did not believe all of the victims were the victims of the same person.
Well, certainly the investigation has stalled. As you can see from today's press conference, we're making progress.
Jeans, shoes, a cell phone, and a pocketbook with her identification.
This is not a result of a new tip. This is just a result of us wanting to research an area that within which she was last seen. We have searched this area before, but again, today's conditions are more favorable to when we searched it in the past because some of the areas are not underwater today.
What we found yesterday is very indicative and very supportive of the fact that she just wandered and ran aimlessly into this marshy area.
This investigation started because Shannon Gilbert disappeared. These sex workers that were later found had disappeared prior to that. Their families had been looking for them. Their families had been going to police. And it wasn't until Shannon Gilbert disappeared and her family really started to hold police accountable and say, you have to get out there and try to find Shannon Gilbert.